after that, that's when they came to me and said they wanted to do something completely different, a different style of music. And I was under the impression that I was to carry on as BLITZ. They were to go off and do whatever.
How did you feel at that time when they said they wanted to do something else?
I just thought, sod them, you go and do whatever you want. I realised there was something, when they turned up at the studio with a shirt and tie, I thought, something's going on here. And I knew they were looking for something different. And so I thought, fair enough, let them go. I asked Mackie to come back and join me. And he said, yeah. And that's when it was announced in Sounds that me and Mackie had carried on. We'd try and find a new drummer and singer. And the next thing we know, the rest of them, they've got this new single out, this Telecommunications, which it was released under the name BLITZ, and it just wasn't BLITZ. It was ridiculous. There was no way the fans were going to have that. It's just the same with the album Second Empire Crap. Anybody who did buy it just sort of played it once.
Shock.
Yeah. But it didn't sell that many. That's when it all fell apart, because it wasn't BLITZ. It was a completely different style. And No Future realised at the time that they'd made a mistake in taking their side.
So they backed their own camp.
Me and Mackie, what did we do? Suffragette City.
Yeah.
We did a cover version of Suffragette City. Originally we had a guy, it was a local guy who used to sing in just local bands, and we had him doing the singing. He came down to the studio and he was too pissed to do it. We went in the next morning, and the sound engineer at Strawberry Studios, Nigel Beverley, we walked in and he was singing it, and so we said that's good enough. So we released that version. That only sold a few thousand, and No Future went bust at the time. I don't know what the full story is about them, what happened. I know it's they put a lot of money into BLITZ. They spent all this money on this second album, and nobody was buying it.
Yeah.
And so obviously that was a main contribution to the problem. And I think just generally they were doing the dirty on people. They didn't have the money to pay people. Anyway, that was it. It just finished. Everything went down, and quite a few bands went with it. The Violators, Attack, they all gave up. BLITZ gave up, and that was it. That was 1983, which just ended, and we all ended up going back to his day jobs.
Yeah, bit of a shock.
Well, I ended up was driving a forklift truck.
Yeah.
And I got stuck into that routine of going back to work, and I was that busy working, I never actually got round to, I kept saying I was going to start up again, and I never did. It just went on for years, this, till 1988, when Link, they just released this live album.
That's right. Did they ask your permission on that?
No, the original agreement was just after we'd originally split up. It was about 83, 84.
Because it was going to be on Syndicate, wasn't it?
That was it, well prior.
That's right.
We'd signed an agreement with him to release this live album, but it never came about. And so we just never thought anything about it. It was until 1988 when Lowe phoned me up and said, I've been trying to get in touch with you, I've released an album, So that's when he turned around and offered me the chance to do a new album. So at the time I was advertising for a new singer, new bass player, and I just couldn't find anyone suitable. So I thought, what the hell, I'll do it all myself. So I booked Cavalier Studio, and I went down there, and I didn't even have the songs. I didn't have a clue what I was doing. I had about 5 ideas for the songs. So really I just wrote that album while I was there. It's a case of I'd be going home at night, I'd write a song and then record it the next day. It was completely off the wall, the whole thing. Pause.
How are we doing for time, John?
It's 20 past.
What time we start?
About 5 past.
About 5 past now,
So we're halfway through.
Halfway through, you've got to tell us about your wife and children and your grandchildren now.
No, I never got married. I'm too bleeding crazy. Nobody put up with me. No chance.
about the early...
Still chasing little girls around the telly, still chasing 16-year-olds. I'm not that old, you know.
Edit that bit, please. We don't know disgusting filth on this thing.
Alright, you know, that's no secret.
Well, tell us about the early gigs or something like that. We've got to fill it all in.
Early gigs? You mean like the 100 Club?
Yeah, what happened to the 100 Club?
I don't know, all I remember is Carl on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't know what he got hit with. He was too cocky though. He deserved it. He was always cocky with the audience. You can be. I used to be in a fun kind of way. You know, we'd take the piss out of him, have a laugh with him. But Carl, he used to go too far. So he got hit with something. Somebody said a fire extinguisher, and they just carried him out. And we never really did get a good reception when we played London. Whether it's just because we were Northerns. Probably.
Yeah, was there a problem being supposedly the most happening band at the time in that music?
Yeah.
Was it a problem not being in London?
No, I didn't think so. I don't think so. I don't think we would have gained anything by moving to London. Actually, we didn't do that many gigs. We probably only did about 30 gigs in the history of the band. We couldn't be bothered doing it, to be honest.
I went to see you 4 times before actually seeing you play. And every bloody one was cancelled. You're supposed to play a place in West London somewhere. I can't remember what it's called now with a few of the bands. You're supposed to play a festival in Manchester Mayflower. Remember that old... Was we? No, there was a lot of gigs we were meant to do. You never knew anything about them? We
got a phone call one night saying, you know, why aren't you here in Liverpool? All the fans are outside. I said, what? We didn't even know. Some guy was arranging gigs for us and he forgot to tell us about it.
Yeah. What was your best gig? What's the gig you remember? If you're thinking back, what was the one?
I don't remember much of them. It's honest truth. We were just we just couldn't stay sober.
Yeah.
It was just a bunch of pissheads.
Okay, another question for you then.
No, I'm trying to think now. I'm trying to think of it. Manchester Apollo. Yeah. That was a good experience. I think we played pretty well that night.
Oh, is that because it was nearly your hometown?
Yeah.
To some degrees.
Yeah. And that's just about the only gig I can remember. The rest of the gigs, it was mainly a case we used to go on stage. We'd usually start off with Razors in the Night, and I'd hit that chord and I'd just end up on my back. That was the usual routine.
Yeah.
I'd just fall straight over. And that was the same, the big, so-called big comeback gig we played at Finsbury Park.
Yeah.
It was the same there. We didn't get on stage till about 1 o'clock, 1:30, and we were just arseholed. You know, we'd just been drinking steadily all night. And I can't actually remember being on stage. The new bass player, Chris, he managed to get to the last song, Warriors, and just collapsed.
Yeah.
And that was usually the case with Blitz playing live.
I remember at the Lyceum you fucked up Warriors as well. Carl forgot the words. Yeah.
That's right, it's on album.
Yeah.
Oh, just drops dead. No, that was Warriors.
Yeah, Warriors, you fucked up the words. Yeah.
We'd only just wrote that song, actually. And I remember playing Swansea. We ended up fighting with the fans. I don't know what the hell that was up. That was it. They were just throwing plastic glasses all over the place, and we just got pissed off. Yeah, we just got pissed off with them, so we just waded in, started knocking shit out of them. You know, why not? I'm trying to remember somewhere else we ended up battling with the fans. I can't remember why or when.
Do you think that fan reputation was as a result? This is a really one question. Was the result of some of your song titles? Razors in the Night, Someone's Gonna Die. Sounds a very aggressive type songs.
Yeah, well, I tell you, we deliberately wrote those lyrics so that they could be taken both ways. Like, if you wanted to listen to Someone's Gonna Die and take it like that it was glorifying violence, then you could do. But at the same time, we had a way of talking it out of it. We were saying that it wasn't glorifying violence. We were pointing out, saying, like Razor in the Night, you better watch out for the Razor in the Night, saying it's a stupid thing. Which, well, it is, you know, fighting with weapons and what have you. But we deliberately, well, Carl did, I should say. It was very, people don't realise it, like he had about 8 O-levels, Carl, and he ended up going to university after it had all split up. He wrote those lyrics with the intention that they could be taken either way. People like the NME, obviously they took it the way they wanted to. They wouldn't interview us at the NME. They wouldn't have anything to do with us. I think Gary Bushman knew he knew what we were playing at with the lyrics, so he just went along with it.
Was he a big help?
Barry Bushell, yeah, he was. Especially, I mean, the interviews we got with Sounds. I mean, in 1982. I think we were in Sounds practically every week in some way or another. We'd always get his name dropped in there. I mean, Gary Bushell was a features editor, and he'd be writing something, and he'd drop the name BLITZ in there. So yeah, there's no secret there. He was a BLITZ fan, and he was the editor of Sounds. So we couldn't go wrong, could we? After that. That's when they came to me and said they wanted to do something completely different, a different style of music.